In this installment, we'll be going over the 7-game Thursday slate we have for DraftKings and Fanduel, finding you the top plays at each and every position. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your Thursday, February 10th slate for DraftKings and FanDuel. We got going on 7 jam-packed games for you. I'll be finding the top plays at each and every position. Guys, before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. And also, if you are a viewer and not a subscriber, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. Currently at 7:57. Nice slow moving pace, man. This is it's not a race. This is a marathon, and we will get there. 1K is the goal. The 1,000 subscriber will be receiving money. Okay, that's the goal when we get to 1K, and then sky's the limit after that. So let's deep dive into this slate. We have starting off with the point guard position, and I really want to pick apart this hammering the value on the Brooklyn Nets side. And that's where we're going to start with Patty Mills, okay? Patty Mills is the point guard slash small forward. In this situation, he's going to probably be the shooting guard in this, with Kyrie Irving being the number one point guard. He's back. This is a road game. There will be no James Harden. He's currently probably in trade talks with Philly. That's the only team that I know of that's connected with James Harden is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers and that Ben Simmons deal. So that's going to be very intriguing to see. But as of right now, if it goes for the Nets right now, it's going to be Patty Mills. It's going to be Kyrie Irving as the 1-2 punch in this offense. We're getting Patty Mills at a cheaper price because he he kind of let us down in that previous video where I put him in. It was a complete blowout. But when I went for Patty Mills, it was the idea that it was going to be James Harden and Patty Mills. It was no James Harden. So it was no talent on the floor for the Brooklyn Nets. And they got obliterated by the Boston Celtics, who are currently right now playing the best basketball in the last 10 games. Outstanding performance. But in this one, we get Patty Mills at 5,000 salary. He has not been there since the end of January, so about a week and a half. And he's had some big blowout spots in games, leading him to the price where he was before at 5,800. So Patty Mills at 5,000, getting starters minutes. I don't expect this to be a blowout because the Washington Wizards are another struggling team. They're missing their stars, so this should be a high scoring back and forth affair, and I like Patty Mills at 5,000. Let's move over to the shooting guard position. I got two guys for you. We're going to start out with Gary Trent Jr. against the Houston Rockets, excuse me. And one of the weaknesses to Houston is going to be the shooting guard and small forward position. They're gearing up a lot of 3-point field goals to that this particular position, and Gary Trent Jr. is going to be the 3-point shooter for the Toronto Raptors. 4-9 against Charlotte, 3 of 5, 3 of 8, 6 of 9 against Miami, and 9 of 15 against Atlanta. So he can definitely light it up. He has some type of weird split where he plays better on the road as well. He's averaging 33 fantasy points on the road, and currently at 6,500. I think that's some value right there, some meat on the bone. If this obviously becomes a blowout, obviously it's going to be because of their 3-point scoring ability, and Gary Trent Jr. is their number one guy. So I like him at 6,500. If we're looking at someone a little bit cheaper, providing a big offensive punch, that's going to be Cameron Thompson at 5K. He's been getting a lot of cleanup work with the Brooklyn Nets, and they're going to need him because there's no James Harden, no Kevin Durant. And he'll be the third option for this offense. As you can see, the past 3 games, 31 minutes, 30 real points in that Utah game. Against Denver, 20 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Came through with 36 fantasy points in that game. Against Boston, even though that was a big blowout, shot 7 of 17, 17 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 1 steal. He chipped in some solid work there as well. He's averaging obviously 14 fantasy points per game, but that's just because of his minutes. You're gonna see an increase in minutes, pretty much a double. And at only 5,000, the upside is very high, going up against a poor Washington defense on the other side. So I like him as another shooting guard option. At the small forward position, we will be looking at Kyle Kuzma. So we're going to stay in this game, and I really want to cover both sides of this, which can be, like I said, a very high scoring affair. Kyle Kuzma coming off a bad performance. Obviously, going up against the Miami Heat, who are one of the top teams defensively in the league. And Kyle Kuzma, we want the games where you played Philly, Milwaukee, and Memphis, 52, 51, and 46. He definitely has that upside in him. He's just been struggling against better defenses. Miami and Phoenix are two of the top two defenses in the league. Now we get the Brooklyn Nets backups pretty much, and it's just Kyrie Irving on the other side with a bunch of scraps. So Kyle Kuzma should definitely get things back cooking. I love him. He's almost probably going to be a lock for Thursday at 7,400. Next, we're going down to the power forward position. We're going to stay in this game with Blake Griffin at 4,400. The reason why I only got 16 minutes against Boston is because the blowout. I think this is going to be a closer game in this one. We saw 30 minutes in Denver, which was a blowout, but they stayed close for half of that game. So that's why he got those type of minutes. If this game is going to stay close, Blake Griffin is going to get those 30 minutes, and he should be able to get you around 29 to 30, just a little bit over that in the fantasy points production. Hopefully, he can chip in more with the rebounds, but he's turned into more of a three-point shooter. So we need threes and we need rebounds from Blake Griffin. He chips in with assists just a little bit there. So there's upside at 4,400, and I like his price right there. Let's continue moving down to the center position. And we're going to this Milwaukee and Phoenix Suns game. We're going to DeAndre Ayton at 6,600. Every time especially last year in the postseason, every time I saw him at this cheap price, it was a guarantee play him. He had so many double doubles against this team. And I'm going to take full advantage of this. They play a little bit smaller ball, and they can take full advantage of that lineup of Bobby Portis and those guys. DeAndre Ayton is going to be a menace down low, and I think he bounces back with one of those performances like you saw against Washington, 20 and 16. I foresee that happening against the Milwaukee Bucks at home and get his price where it should be. In that upper 7,000, 8,000 range. Okay, you're getting DeAndre Ayton at 6,600. That is a complete steal. He is one of my locks for Thursday. Let's continue on. Let's look for some more value. I happen to have some value right here, and we're going back to that Brooklyn game. James Johnson has been in a solid amount of minutes, starting pretty much as well. 24, 27, 21, and 29. You see some upside there against Sacramento. 18 points, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 3 rebounds. In another game in against Boston, 17 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds in that one. I think he's going to have to really chip in on the offense and defensive side going up against Washington, who are very, very sloppy. And I think he can clean up those type of possessions. James Johnson can be a very sneaky play at power forward at only 4,200 salary. All right. Now we're going to go to our lock of the night. And the lock of the night, we'll go back to that Milwaukee and Phoenix Suns game. And Giannis Antetokounmpo torched this Phoenix Suns team in the playoffs. If we're just going at that, let me type it in. Let me type it in for you. Right now, I got Drew Holiday. I was just checking how everyone was doing in the last 10 games, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, 79, 52, 66, 69, 71. Those are the type of numbers I need if I'm willing to pay 12,000 salary for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think you cannot fade that. He'll be surpassing his average if you play him. If he gets that 70 bomb, that is definitely much, much needed. in a game going against the Phoenix Suns at home. So it's going to be very competitive. We can see a very high stat sheet for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I love him as the lock of the night. Let's check over to FanDuel and check some of these prices. And I have some other plays for you. I also like Kyrie Irving at 9,400. He's $1,000 cheaper on FanDuel. He can be a great play. Here, obviously, going to be the leader of this offense, and definitely someone you need to keep an eye on. Obviously, I love Antetokounmpo, but also Kyrie Irving is going to be a big boost to this Brooklyn Nets offense. He's going to be the leader. Next, Spencer Dinwiddie at 5,700. If we look at his salary on DraftKings, it is 6,000. So you're getting a cheaper price on FanDuel, $300 cheaper. This is some sort of a revenge narrative if you want to go that way. His former team, the Brooklyn Nets, that obviously they weren't going to pay for him. They were trying to focus on the other stars on this team. It was just impossible to afford all these guys. So Spencer Dinwiddie comes in at 5,700. Definitely, I think he'll be a little bit more motivated in this matchup. Next will be Desmond Bane, shooting guard and small forward for the Memphis Grizzlies, going up against the Detroit Pistons. And the Pistons struggle against the shooting guard and small forward position. Desmond Bane can definitely have one of those big blow spots against the Detroit Pistons. Easier competition, knock down his three, which he's very, very dangerous with. That type of explosion can clearly come from him. He's been a very bright star for this offense, and this is one of the reasons why the Grizzlies have been so consistent. Not only has it been John Morant and Jaren Jackson, it's also been Desmond Bane being very consistent from the three-point shooting range. And then obviously I also said Gary Trent, okay, and I already talked about him in the DraftKings. Let me see if he's cheaper. No, he is cheaper on DraftKings, a little bit more expensive on FanDuel. And those are going to be our plays for Thursday. All right. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any other ideas at point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, value play, or lock. We can definitely discuss that down below. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetJSD, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Peace out, guys.